This is my painting studio. It's called Groundeffected Studio. And my name is your dad. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I painted Deadpool, which is one of the offerings from Zez Studios, which is a new Patreon on the block. And definitely I'm going to be telling you more about them in the rest of this video at some point. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, it doesn't really matter, just watch the video. You don't have to subscribe, you don't have to do anything other than watch the video and then share the video with your gran. But do it anyway, you might as well, it's not gonna hurt you, it doesn't hurt me. Let's just friggin' like, subscribe, share with your gran. Let's watch how I painted that Pool of the Deads. Now, I saw this model online, I saw it on Instagram, and it really instantly caught my attention the moment that I saw it. Of course, a couple of days later, I was contacted by Zez Studios and asked if I would be able to paint this model in a video for them. And of course I said yes, I could not say no to the brother of Spiderman being painted on my channel, and this is where we're at. This also meant that I was on an extremely tight budget of time. So I printed the model as fast as I could, and for this model, this is the first time that I'd printed in 0.05mm layer heights, whereas I normally print in 0.03. And the results are okay. It's not something I would do all the time. 100% wish that I had actually printed in the lower layer height for this model, but we can get away with it with some clever techniques of painting. Now, let's get on to painting this model. Of course, the most important thing is for the model to be placed into pieces that I can paint easily. One of the greatest things about this particular model is that it was cut by a person who cares about painters, and that I can honestly appreciate more than anything in this world. He has cut this thing up into a bazillion pieces, and not a bazillion pieces that are really difficult to work with, but enough pieces to make this so easy to paint. It's a matter of painting each part the specific color and sticking it all together, and you've got a finished model. This is all my parts that have been primed, and as you can see, there is a lot of them, and I use these crocodile clips attached to a pipe or whatever it is so that I can stick onto the model and put them all over the place and allow them to dry and work with a little bit easier. Once again, I've used a transparent resin to make parts of this model, and the reason that I use this is just because it has a slightly different look to the matte resin or the solid resin that I used, and I can use the transparency to create effects. Also, I put a light in there, but don't tell anyone. There is in fact a light in there, but you will see that probably at the end of the video. This video was sponsored by Zez Studios. Make sure to check them out in the link below in the description box. Zez Studios is a 3D printing company that specializes in making sculpts for you to 3D print of your own, just like the Deadpool I'm painting in this video. Now, if you like this model and you would like to get yourself your own model like this, then be sure to check out Zez Studios Patreons. By the way, if you haven't already noticed, that Zez Studios does something a little bit different. Their whole thing is all about quality over quantity. And when I say quality, I mean, look at this bust that they gave extra just to be able to stick the spare head on top of. Now, if that ain't quality, then I don't know what is. Go make sure to check out Zez Studios in the description now! One of the most annoying things about Marvel characters, specifically X-Men characters, and for some reason Deadpool falls into this category too, is that they have about 480 little pouches on their body. I don't know what they keep in their pouches, but I'm pretty sure it would be a drug dealer's heaven. But putting all that nonsense aside, I have to paint these pouches somehow, so I started out with pouch color. This is brown, I painted everything brown, and when I was done with that, I worked on the rest of the model. Going back to the rocket, I sprayed white over the red that I originally put down. As you could tell, it wasn't bright enough, so I sprayed white in order to make a little bit of a brighter red. I then painted red over the top of that, and as you can now see, it's a much brighter red. These are all my parts drying, and this is when you can really see the benefits of using those little pegs. getting onto the base, I need to paint rocks. I've painted rocks in many videos, and I'm really not going to explain too much about how I paint rocks in this particular video, but basically pick a couple of colors that look sort of rock color, and then slap them all over your model. Once you've slapped them everywhere, you're going to have a lot of paint everywhere because you've definitely put too much paint on the model. So take a paper towel and soak up some of that paint. The good thing about doing this is that it mushes everything together and creates textures on the surface that look like rock, which is a good thing when you're trying to paint a rock. I then use a lighter color, and in this case I just used the skin tone lighter color. It doesn't matter which lighter color really, because we're going to tint this later. And speaking of that tint, the tint that I'm going to use is Drakenhof Nightshade. I do this on pretty much all my rocks, and I don't think it's the best way of doing things, but it unifies my work technically, and I really like the look of blue rocks. I don't know why, they just look really cool. Now on this base, there are a couple of little extra bitty bitties that you need to paint. And to paint some of those bitty bitties, I used other colors, as you can imagine. So I used a green, a really bright green, to give this, I don't know what it is, it's a friggin' barrel of something. I gave it a highlight with the really bright green, and I used Drakenhof Nightshade from the bottom to give it shadows. This also ties it into the color of the rocks that I had placed on the base. We don't want this to all stand out too much from the character. We want the character to stand out from the base. I don't think that made good English, but it doesn't matter. I think you understand what I mean. Getting on to the rest of the base, there is a load of smoke coming out of the bottom of this rocket, and it starts out as a fire by the end of the rocket, and when it comes and curls around the back of the base, it's going to be smoky because the fire doesn't go that far, nor does fire bend around corners. Maybe it does, I don't know, but in my mind it doesn't. So I painted the smoke using incremental steps of grey at first, just to give it a greyish feel. The other thing you'll notice is that I'm spraying all over the base. I didn't try to block off or mask off anything, and this is a good thing because that grey that goes all over the place gives a hazy, smoky feel to the base, helping to sell the effect that it is actually smoke. I then used white ink and I sprayed all the tippy tops of the smoke just to try and really make it look more like smoke. Now that I'm done with my airbrush, it is time to break out the wet palette. If you haven't got one of these, you probably should get one and look for a video about how to use one. I have made a video about that, and if I'm a good YouTuber, I would put it up in the top corner right meow. But that just depends on how much of a good YouTuber I am. Getting back to the rest of the model, I'm going to start painting in some of the other little things that are on the base, and that's going to be the rebar that sticks out, as well as these pieces of barbed wire which I couldn't actually figure out where to put, and I ended up putting them wherever I felt like was a good place to put them. Now that we're over with all the rest of that nonsense, it's time to start working on the pool man himself. And we're going to do a zenithal. Over the black, this is going to make the red stand out and be so much more brighter than if I just try to spray this over the black as it was. I could have also painted him white to start out with, but then I wouldn't have as deep of a shadow as I currently have. You can see how deep the shadows already are, and this is before I've even sprayed the darker red from the bottom. Also, note the very precarious position of which I have Deadpool balancing on my light at my desk. This is not dangerous at all. It is in fact dangerous. Don't do this, because if you do and your model falls, it is not my fault. Do not blame the Groundeffected. And now to add some of that lovely color in the bottom, because obviously the red over the black is still desaturated and it doesn't actually look like red, it just looks like black with a little bit of red kind of licking into it. I'm going to use Caribou Crimson and spray that from the bottom. This is a shade from Citadel, and this is going to go over that black and kind of tint it red, so it's not just a dirty, ugly black in the shadows, and it looks like I have a nice red, or dark red to light red gradient on the model. I didn't realize that Deadpool actually had black in his suit. I thought it was only his eyes that had a bit of black, but it actually turns out that there is quite a fair amount of black. If you painted these parts just black, it would look like terrible. So don't paint them just black. I mixed a little bit of white into my black, and technically it wasn't white, it was the not white that I mixed into my black to make it a not black. This means that it is now a slightly darker white or a little bit of a lighter black. That essentially means grey. Paint the black parts grey and you'll have a better time. I then worked on the symbol on his little belt. He has this cool little Deadpool logo over his belly button, and basically I painted white and then painted red over the top, and that's how it went down. I carried on painting my not black into all the places that were not black but actually needed to have black in them. I also used a wash over that. You may notice it now and then, but I used a panel line wash. This is from Tamir, and I went over my not black with the panel line wash. This is one of the reasons why I used not black, because if you use not black, you're gonna have a much more better contrast when you add a shadow over the top of that. So that means that your higher points are going to be a little bit brighter, and all the recesses are going to be a nice dark rich black because you have used not black on the top. I hope that makes sense. Now, as you may notice, I'm starting to put this model together. Also, another thing you may notice is that in order for me to see the end of this model happening, I work in a very specific manner, and that is from parts that are going to be mounted to the base. Usually these are feet and not necessarily the butt. The butt isn't always the first place that would be mounted to a base, but in this case, his butt is mounted first, and the next steps would essentially be his legs and then his feet. So I work from that way up. This means that I can start seeing the end in sight as I'm working on this model, and it keeps me engaged and feeling like I might actually be able to finish it, because otherwise, if I had just parts everywhere, I wouldn't know exactly how far along in the project I am, and I might feel like there is way too much work left and get a little bit disheartened and kind of give up a bit. But because I'm putting these parts together as I go, I can see I'm now halfway through the model, and all I have to do is his torso and his head and his arms. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, is get back to painting his torso and his head and his arms. For the torso, there was a load of not black that needed to go into these not black areas, and I did that. I painted the not black into the not black areas. Hopefully you can actually see the value of painting these parts in a dark grey, because I can add this panel line wash over the top and it goes into the recesses, and it just really gives it so much more life than if I had to just paint them black. Because if I painted them black, I can't go any darker than black, because black is the darkest of the dark. So painting them in a darker grey helps you to be able to go darker in the recesses when you want to. I used a bit of brass to go over the bullets that are around his what do you call them? Bullet holders on his back. And then I stuck on the rest of the bits onto the torso and put it onto the model. So now I can see I am now 3/4 of the way there. All I have to do is the forearms and the hands and the head, and I'm pretty much done. Let's get that going right now. And with a little bit of a more panel line wash over the not black areas on the arms, I'm able to get these pretty much up to scratch with a little bit more extra detail. That's just the buckle I painted with silver, because that's the color of buckles, I think. I don't know if it truly is, but it's the color that I paint my buckles. And with that, it's time to get on to painting the head of Deadpool. Now, I did paint both head sculpts on this, but I'm only going to show you the one that I painted because really, you've seen me paint skins before and you've seen me paint faces, and so I'm just going to paint Deadpool's head. It's so easy. It's just two white eyes in the middle of his head. There's not much to it. For his guns, they're a little bit tricky. They do take a little bit of working around the symbols that are on them, but if you take your time and be careful and just plan this out, you can get it pretty close to how they are without too much effort. I painted it red first and came back with the black over the top of that because that was the easiest way of doing this. And for the gun in his hand, it's a little bit different. I had to paint white into it because it was a smaller space and paint red over the top of that, and that was pretty much where I decided to call this model done. I truly hope that this video did help you in your next model painting escapades, and if it did, then this is the time that you should leave those likes and subscribes and shares with your gran that you said you were going to in the beginning. Also, there is a little square box at the bottom of this video. They call that the comment section. You can leave some words there. You don't have to, but it would be really nice if you did in fact leave some words in the little square box of subscription comment. Words in the box. Also, don't forget to check out Zez Studios. They are also in the box that's just above the box where you leave the words. Now would be a good time for me to let you know that I do have a Patreon. If you want to support this channel even more than just watching the next video, you can support me on Patreon from as little as £2 a month, or however many monies that equals to in your currency. But if you want to support the channel and you like what I do on this channel, then that's one of the best ways to help keeping these lights blinding my eyeballs. Of course, I should not have looked at it because now I just see a big white square. Oh, and speaking of patrons, I like to thank the new ones that I get in every video that I make, and I got a couple new ones this last week who I would like to thank right now. Dave Redhead, James Miller, Jonathan Kaminsky, and Dave McPhail. Hopefully I didn't butcher any of those words that I had to read onto the screen, and I would like to say a very special thank you and I would like to say a very special thank you to those who do support the craziness, or whatever the heck this is. I'm so glad for your support, because without your support I couldn't use these lights to blind my eyeballs and make more videos like the one you just watched. And now that I have chatted a lot of waffle about a little bit of syrup, it's time for me to stop speaking the nonsenses and let you know the most important thing I can let you know in this video, and that is, if you don't like something that you see, you clicked it, you watched it, so if you didn't like it, you're the only one to blame, and I don't really care about that, so now is your chance to fuck off. So if I paint the spare bust that holds the head, can I just paint it all red because it's just bloody, right?